Hello, this is Harvey Vagabond Jerry, and that is the Mississippi River behind me. And in this video, I'm going to show you some interesting things I found to see around the cities of Harvey and Gretna, Louisiana, which is just south of New Orleans, right across the Mississippi River. And funny thing, the Mississippi River runs along the north side of Harvey and Gretna, which are just side by side, and then the river runs along the east side of Gretna and then turns around and runs back along the south side of Harvey and Gretna. And the first thing I'm going to do is take a ferry across the river. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you on the map why they even have a ferry here to cross the river. I'm on my motor scooter today, so hop on back with me and let's cross the ferry here. Well, it's not a busy day for the ferry here. Now they could easily build a bridge across the river, but obviously with the low amount of traffic this particular area gets, it's a lot more cost effective to run a ferry than build a bridge. And the guy said that my fare for a motorcycle is $1, but for seniors it's free. How about that? I saved me $1 for being an old man. Now the ferry doesn't go straight across the river. The way they have the landings on both sides, it has to go down the river a bit until it gets to where it actually lands. Well, that was a fun little cruise. And as I was driving along the road here, I saw this cemetery, and what really caught my eye is how they have these steel straps holding down these huge concrete graves. It's mounted in the ground there, and they want to make double sure these things, these graves, do not get away. So I can guarantee you this couple is not getting out of here. How about that? Hurricane Katrina was really rough, but it couldn't touch these above ground graves. They seem pretty solidly mounted here. I don't know what people are worried about. And I guess this is dedicated to somebody named Peona. Most of these actually have no names or plaques on them at all as to who it is. But then there's some regular underground graves as well. But some of them do. Here's another one that's not getting away. So now I'm going to show you the St. Bernard State Park Wildlife Refuge. Here's the park's picnic area. There's a big children's playground there, and they even have a splash pad. There's a big covered picnic area, and this goes over a dry creek bed over to a large field with more picnic tables. They have nature trails, although pretty much everything around here is a nature trail. And here is the campground. Oh, look at that big tent. Power box is 20, 30, 50. A water faucet, picnic table, barbecue grill, and a fire pit. Decent amount of space between each campsite. Here is a map of the place, and you see the campground here and a lagoon. That kind of looks like a lazy river type thing, although I haven't seen it yet. They have a gate there so you couldn't go in, which crosses the lagoon. I'd like to go in there and see what it looks like, but they have it closed right now, probably just for the season. And here is their campground fees. Different rates for summer and winter, but the highest rate of anything is only about $34. And they told me at the gate that it's half price for anyone over age 62, which makes it a really, really good deal. So right now, this campsite where I'm at would be only about $12 a night and $16 for weekends. It's a very nice campground with all paved parking pads. And here is the dump station on the way out. There are three things in downtown Gretna that I wanted to show you. And one is the German American Cultural Center Museum. I saw some pictures online. It looked really interesting to me. But here it says that they are closed due to hurricane damage, which I find very interesting. How do you get hurricane damage inside of a really strong building like this? That's got to be one of the strongest buildings in town. There's no hurricane damage on the outside. How do you get hurricane damage on the inside? And I'd really like to know what the German Coast celebration is all about. Well, whenever you get here, check it out, see if it's open. And just a few blocks away is the historic St. Joseph Church. And other than the architecture here, what's most interesting, I think, is the gardens that they have behind the church. It was built in 1926. So let's take a look back there. Looks like this kid's caught a fish bigger than he is. This is the center of the garden. Big statue here. Looks like they may have had something else on that platform there. It's gone now. And inside here, a colorful candle collection and several statues. Got some nice artwork. Several carvings all around here. Looks like an old priest holding a dove. Not that this is terribly exciting, but it is nice. We have a nice garden here with the main centerpiece there. And the other thing I wanted to show you is what used to be the Texas Pacific Depot. The railroad tracks used to come right along here, which is now just a city street. And right across the street is El Gato Negro Mexican Kitchen, several other businesses. And the depot has now been turned into Gretna's post office with a little book nook outside here. I like to have lunch at El Gato, but they're closed on Sundays, which is what today is. So instead, I'm going to have lunch at the place where I'm staying here, which is in Harvey, and show you something there that I really like, which is at the Boomtown Hotel and Casino. And that casino is actually a boat on water. And I think most of the casinos along Louisiana, Mississippi state are actually boats on water like this. Something to do with legalities, I think. They have a huge parking lot, and they have one section here where they have these really long stalls. This is where they want truckers and RVs to park. I went in to check with security to register my RV for parking overnight, and they said you don't need to register at all. As long as you're parking in this area here with the long stalls where the trucks park, then you're fine. And in fact, I asked them, how many nights are you allowed to stay? And they said there's no limit as to how many nights you can stay. As long as you're in this section of the parking lot, that's really all they care. And I even had room to put out my slides on both sides. Got a little grass here, and I have my own fire hydrant. Well, I'm in the New Orleans area. I'm staying at various places around the metropolitan area. So I'm just going to stay here a few days at a time, probably a few times while I'm here for the whole winter. So let me show you a couple things here. There is the casino where I'm staying, and then here is the St. Bernard State Park. So to drive there, the only place where there's a bridge across the Mississippi River is right there. So I'd have to go across the bridge there and then drive through the downtown city streets of New Orleans, and then a lot of local city traffic along here getting down to the park. And that makes it, as it says here, a 28-mile trip taking 44 minutes. But by taking the ferry, it's only a 13.5-mile trip. Now, the other three things that I showed you from the casino there are all within a few blocks of each other in downtown Gretna. So whenever you're in the New Orleans area, you don't need hookups. I would recommend you stay here at the Boomtown Casino. If you do need hookups, then stay here at the St. Bernard State Park and see those few things in downtown Gretna that I showed you as well. So I hope you can use this information sometime in the future. Good day, folks.